Hey guys, how's it going? Ghostly Richard today, and today we're going to be doing a thermostat on this Jeep Wrangler TJ. So, how easy is it to do a thermostat on here? Let me show you. So, if we look right here, this is your thermostat. It is literally right behind the fan shroud. There's one bolt here, and there's one bolt underneath it diagonally, which is right there, which is hard for me to show because of lighting, but it's right under this one. When you are doing this, you are going to have some radiator fluid come out. So you are going to want a bucket underneath where the thermostat is if you're only doing the thermostat. I'm going to be doing some pipes today, so I'm actually going to drain a bit of my radiator fluid, or pretty much all of it, out of my radiator. And then I can either, if your bucket is super clean, you might be able to just put it back in depending on how much dirt is in the fluid, but it isn't that expensive. It might be worth just quickly swapping out the fluid, fresh radiator fluid, fresh thermostat. You climb under your Jeep and you look under here. And we look right there. You're gonna see that petcock valve. So you're gonna actually have to turn this, and you might not be able to do it with your hand, which I can, so that's pretty baller. Check that out. Ooh, yay, dirty. And the more you open it, the more it splurges. Make sure you're careful, don't get it in your eyes. And all you're gonna do is you can either do slow drip, which will take for absolute ever, or as you open it more, it'll drain more and more. I'm not going to do this on camera because otherwise I'm going to soak my camera in antifreeze. Also, be very careful. This stuff kills kitties and puppies. You can hear it draining down there. I'm just going to let it drain. This is pretty much already empty up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace these pipes right now. So if you're going to be doing this, again, this is up to you. If you're going to be doing your pipes, you do this. If not, it's up to you how far you want to go. You could technically just loosen those two bolts and that thermostat will come out. There will be fluid behind it. What I suggest doing though, just so it's kind of out of the way, is unplug this. It's just a ducktail, so squeeze it right here, slide it, put it out of the way. And then, next thing, if you're going to be replacing your pipes, you would just, again, these are squeeze clamps. Remember, if you want to take a picture where they went, you'll most likely be able to see them, but you'll just squeeze them, and you'll set, if you have a lock plier like so, to where it's going to go, squeeze and wiggle them. If they've been sitting for a while, they might be sunk into the tube pretty well. Again, if you remove these pipes, it can make taking the thermostat out easier, because then you're just dealing with this thermostat housing. If you're looking at a thermostat, the other bolt is actually right in between where the serpentine is. Really, really fun. So we're going to have to actually loosen off our serpentine. So if you look right here, there is a bolt right here, and it is a 15. So slide a 15 on there, and you're going to loosen it up. After you loosen this, do not pull it out, just loosen it. We're going to come up here. There's a 15 on the top right here, and right there. And we're going to start to loosen that, and you'll see your pulley will loosen. Your idler pulley right here is going to start to back off. Then we can slide this over this pulley right here. Once you've loosened that pulley, next thing we're going to do is right here, we're going to take this wrench, 15 on extension, and again, make sure righty tighty lefty loosey, and as you loosen it, you're going to see that pulley down there start to back off. And then just loosen enough so we can slip it off. After you've loosened this off enough, I'll show you what you do. So see the one on the fan right here? You'll see that the belt's right here. Slide it off the fan pulley right here. And then after you do that, you can take it off this alternator and move it out of the way like so. You can technically, if you want, just remove the serpentine, which is what I'm probably going to do here, just to get out of the way. That just means no antifreeze on your serpentine, which isn't a bad thing. If I'm going to actually zoom us in, if we're looking right in there, let's see if it'll focus. Come on, camera, be nice. There it is. That bolt right there in between the two pulleys where our belt was, that's the one we are going to remove. And this one here too. So this one right here, and the one that was right in between the two pulleys right there where my finger is, which my camera doesn't want to focus on. Once you get the 2 bolts out, remember, big bolt on top, little bolt on bottom when you go to put this back in. But you're gonna notice we have all this old gasket on here. We're gonna have to clean that out, but first, grab a pair of pliers and just pop this out. There might be some fluid inside the head, so when you pop it, it'll probably squirt a little bit. This thermostat is definitely done. This is what it should look like, and that is what this one looks like. You can see the casing like when you're doing it, if you have some X-Actos like so, because I always order a bunch of these, all you're gonna do is literally go around it like this. And we're just gonna scrape off all the old gasket. Make sure you leave it at an angle like this, and again, I'm gonna clean out the housing after this. But just gently go around, don't like really press too hard. You want this surface clean, don't get me wrong, but you don't want to score it either. It might look dirty, but it's very smooth and it's clean, and that's what you're looking for. You just want to scrape it off. Again, this is a very old housing. It's about 300,000 kilometers old, so it's going to have some black tarnishness to it. Oh yeah, my hands look beautiful now. So the next thing you want to do is, if we come over here, this is your old thermostat. You'll see it had a hole drilled through it. And what you should do is, I'll tell you what size drill bit I'm going to do, but on the flat part here, on either side, doesn't matter where, we're going to drill a small hole. That's the size of hole. I really can't tell you the drill bit size because there was none on there. I literally just went through and I put the back of the drill bit up against these, and then I seen which size fit that hole best in the existing one and drilled it through. Make sure that the hole is upmost, so it's facing up. We know that the top bolt is the longer one because it has to go all the way through the top of the housing. What we're going to do is put it like that, and then we're going to put it on the back. This, by the way, I've already lined it up. So we're going to do that and make sure our gasket stays nice and clean. Next thing we're going to do is take the other bottom bolt, we're going to slide it through the gasket as well. The reason why we're doing this is so that way the gasket is going to be held for when we seat it. And then you're just going to line it up in the 2 holes. When you're tightening up your bolts, first hand thread them in if you can, and then from there you're going to tighten a little bit, and you're just going to keep tightening a little bit until it sits nice and flush with that gasket. And then you're just going to go at it, and you're just going to try and add a little bit of tightness until you're set where you want to be. Again, don't He-Man these, it's going into the block. Next thing you want to do is take your sensor, just sink it back on, make sure she's seated nice. If you climb under your vehicle, the last pipe, just so you know which one it is right here. This pipe right here is the one that goes to your water pump. If you go in from behind the tire and you look up, right in this opening here, there's the pipe. I'm gonna see if I can bring my light over here to show you better. Can you see that silver hose clamp right there in the center of the shot? That's what you're gonna squeeze. And the camera decided to say, there we go. That silver one right there in the center of the shot is the one we want. If you're gonna be doing the other 2 pipes, all you'll do is you'll loosen this off, loosen that one off, and again, just remove it just like you remove this one. And then you go to the heater core right there and you just do the same thing. Loosen those 2 clips off like that, and then these ones are a little bit, they can get a little bit more sticky, so you might have to pry them off. And if you pry them off, they're gonna damage them, so just make sure you have new ones. All right, let's go through this. So what I would do if I were you, go route it. If you have AC, go up and over your AC, under it. And then when you come up to the fan, right here on the neck, leave it loose, leave it down here. And then you're gonna continue to route through everything and just leave that one sitting on the side of the fan. Once you get everything lined up, then what you're going to do is take your belt, and it should actually just slide up and onto here, and that's the easiest way because the rest of the pulleys have a lip on it. So, except for a couple of them, but this is the easiest one to access afterwards and slide it up onto the fan. After you've gone through, you make sure everything's seated properly, as I have. You double check your diagram because this diagram is right. Now we can start to tighten our idler. When doing your idler, you're gonna put this back on that bolt and you start to tighten it. So opposite of what you just did. As you start to tighten it, you're gonna notice that it's gonna get stronger and stronger because you're gonna be putting tension on that belt. And the basic rule is no slack, because any slack that you have on it, it's going to cause whining. Once you tighten this to the point where there is no play at all, like you can see this is nice and tight, what you're gonna do is go down here and tighten your 15 back up on that idler pulley down there. Once you tighten it up, and again, that one just tighten right up. Don't He-Man, but get it tight. Next thing, antifreeze. If you want to be lazy or you just don't want to deal with the mixing, just buy a jug of 50-50. If it does not say 50-50 on the jug, remember, you have to pour half of it into another container and then fill it up with water. And then you'd pour this one half out, and then you'd fill this one up with water. And the best thing to use is filtered water, or deionized water is what it's called. And then you just do like so. Start filling it up, and you just keep going and going until you see it get up pretty close to the top. And then you're gonna burp air bubbles out of the pipes here. You can just squeeze them like so. After you filled this like so, and you filled your reservoir up to that bubble right there, every reservoir for your Jeep should have that bubble, fill it up to there. Now you're gonna go into your vehicle and you're gonna start it. Now when you start it, you're gonna turn the heat all the way up and the fan all the way on. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna get the heater core working too once you reach a certain temperature of the vehicle, which is basically halfway. If you watch, you'll see those air bubbles. That's air coming out of the system. This is exactly why you have to leave your fan going, and secondly, leave your cap off while your Jeep is coming to temperature, because you're going to see that it's going to slowly purge the air out of the system. Drive around the block if you want to speed up the process, and then just top it up from there. Just be careful, of course, radiator fluid is hot. Anything that's spilled, make sure you clean up. It does kill fluffy animals. Alright guys, thanks again for watching. I hope this helped you change your thermostat and also helped you change those pipes. Next thing that you might need to do is maybe you have to replace your radiator. I got a video for that. Look up TJ Ghostly Rich Radiator. Bam, it'll pop up. I'm also going to be doing the water pump. Like the video, press the like button. If you want to see more, subscribe for more.